how to create unconditional space for a person, place, subject, thought, or feeling. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm going to be hopefully describing how to create a safe place and an unconditional presence for yourself, especially during this time if you are needing to nurture yourself. So basically, unconditional presence is to be completely focused and open to a person, subject, thought, or feeling, and giving it your undivided attention. So this will often involve stepping aside from your perspective and looking through this other person thought or emotions perspective, as well as putting aside your personal morals. So basically, you're coming into a space of non-judgment. So to judge something is to deem good or bad, or what you would personally do in that particular place. So personal morals are completely subjective. It is what you feel is good or bad. So when we are in unconditional presence, we are looking at this person or this subject or this thought as completely valid, and that it is true to its own nature. So I'm going to give an example. So let's say a person wants to have unconditional presence for grief. Let's say this person just broke up with someone or is grieving the loss of someone, right? So grief is oftentimes associated with a loss that you feel cannot be replaced for your well-being. So what happens is that we want to cut ourselves off from the negative feeling, and so it leaves us with this constant resistance. Usually grief is felt within the chest area. Some people feel it in their stomach, abdominal area, but generally it's felt right here. Some people feel it on their shoulders, but it's generally a very heaviness. So and basically it is a loss. So if you would like to basically step into unconditional presence with grief, it's going to be in a place of non-judgment. So I'm going to give you an example. If you are someone that is struggling with grief or has recently broke up with someone, especially during this pandemic, it is very much hard, especially during this time. So grief usually comes in waves. So it's not, you don't feel grief or sadness like 24/7. That's not really how emotion works. It generally comes in waves. But if you are more likely to resist it, it's going to be more intense. It's going to stay a lot longer. So the focus of this exercise is, in fact, to be completely present with it. So oftentimes, if I could describe the reason why grief actually hurts is because we are actually pulling ourselves away from it. So it's basically wanting something within us is wanting to integrate, and it's basically calling out for our attention. So oftentimes, people that have a lot of grief feel it in their stomach, and they often struggle with a lot of nausea or stomach pains, or a place where they're not able to eat, especially after a particular breakup. So this is why people, when they break up with someone, they generally feel a sense of loss, because it is a connection that has been basically detached. So if you would like to have unconditional presence with someone that is grieving, or yourself, it is very helpful to ask it questions and make sure that you are completely present with it, such as, why are you here and what do you need? So generally, the emotion will, if you sit with it long enough, it will basically invite you to be very present with it. Also, if a person that is coming to you that is in need of help, the best thing that you could actually do for them is to have your undivided attention for them and to not try to change them. People that want to feel changed, they oftentimes, the intention is good, but oftentimes they feel a sense of shame as well. So people are more apt to feel safe when they don't feel like you're trying to mold them or change them, and they will oftentimes, with enough compassion and understanding and being with them, they are more likely to less likely to recoil within themselves, and more likely to feel safe enough to move on to the next step. So there is a difference between talking with someone and to feel better, and talking with someone to have a connection. So connection is basically stepping aside inside this person's reality and seeing how it is to be them and relating to that. Whereas talking with someone to feel better is basically it's another form of connection, but this person doesn't know how to make themselves feel better on their own. They tend to be a little bit not in tune with their feelings because they're too focused on coping with their negative emotions rather than um, talking with them. So most people think that negative emotions and thoughts or personality traits that they don't like are something bad about them, but it's leading you into a deeper truth about yourself, and that's very painful for many people because they're afraid to look at the truth of who they are, or their what makes up their blueprint, I guess you could say. So people that talk to other people or want advice from other people don't actually want to be fixed. They want to be understood. They want to have unconditional presence, and they want to feel like they are validated. Um, there is no such thing as good or bad. It's basically what resonates with that person. So if you find that you are being judged or feel like you are being judged, it's basically you feel that you feel like a person is not stepping into your reality enough to feel seen, heard, and understood. So this often has to go as well with thoughts or inner voices that are perceived as negative. They are calling for your attention because they are in need of you to look at your deeper parts of yourself so that you can understand the deeper truths of yourself. And a personal truth is basically an objective part of yourself, or a part that is more of a fact instead of a subjective. So it is very helpful to listen to your internal critic or your internal dialogue with a non-judgment manner, as well as if you would like to help other people and step into the way that they feel. It's also very helpful to create a space within yourself to be able to have this ability to connect with other people. This is why it's very helpful when you are in a field of some type of healing modality to take time for yourself to kind of gather yourself, because it does take a lot of emotional energy to be able to create that space. So if you're not taking care of yourself, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So I hope this was helpful, and if you guys would like, I can leave my email in the description box below. Feel free to reach out to me at any time. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.